What up, fam? Welcome to Simulation Talk 234. What's up, Blue Rooster and Guru and Yoni? Good to see you guys. Ooh, 8 minutes gonna ride an electric mini bike. Well, that sounds exciting. What's up, Savage Wendigo? Good to see everybody. I see you guys are competing. How is everybody evening tonight? Good to see you, Savage, James, Angelo, Xander, AK. Okay, give people a couple more seconds to arrive. Nico's in the house. How you doing, my brother? There we go. That's a better situation. I feel like this light. Hold on. Wipe this camera. It's way too smudgy. Is that better? No, it's still doing the smudge thing. How come? Where is that camera? Still smudgy. It's so bizarre. Oh well. Maybe it's something in the case. How everybody doing? Shazbot. I thought you said Shabbat. What's up, Linux? PP tape. That sounds pretty awesome. All right, we are in Simulation Talk 234. That's exciting. Catalyst Kitten. O2BS3. Great handles today. Nicopol. What can we get into today? Today is a Friday. Great day. Oh yeah, if you guys feel like jumping to Twitch and supporting the channel, please do. I'm now in the habit of checking on a daily basis. Let's see, where are we? There. Our Twitch handle is LaserX83. If you want to support our Twitch, come check it out and see the live from there so we can grow the family. Creators dashboard. See what it says to us. Yeah, 4. All right. Close enough. How come it's going down? Even though we have more than 3 people per view. Well, I guess we have to go way more than 4 on a regular basis. But we're going to get there. So glad you guys are joining. I wonder how many people need to join in one live to offset the fact that it was so little people until now. What is it, 300, 400? Basically the number of episodes. Oh, probably 3 times the number of episodes, and it will automatically offset it. Well, maybe we can do a campaign one day. In any case, what's up, Nicola? There you go. Blue Rooster is also on Twitch. That's a long handle, man. Brian J. Shahar versus the world's smartest AI, Musk's XAI. It's a long handle. What's up, Joe? Cosmic Cowboy, Ed, Blubber. Good to see everyone. Linux is saying tips for someone who's tried to see the code twice without success. Second time I was able to discern depth but no movement. Did you watch my tutorial video, which is one of the latest videos that I posted? Hold on, I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up. I need to figure out how to operate this thing. Okay. All right. This should be it. Hold on. Right there. Also, just going to mention that if you want to check out our merch, I never have it here. Dude, I gotta. If you want to check out our limited edition merch, because we have the new logo coming up. So this is the older logo, this one. So if you want to go, what am I doing? Want to go to codeofreality.com and grab yourself one of these babies, that and or a mug. This is beautiful code in the front. Have you seen the code in the back? I think it's a dope shirt. I really love it. And I'll show you the mug. You can go to codeofreality.com and get yourself one of those, which will be super supportive of the project. And you're going to get a cool collector's item because this will simply not exist anymore. So again, it's on codeofreality.com. Let me show you the mug. There you go. Beautiful. Also, I should probably do something cool with 42. Also, have you seen the code? These are the two items that currently are on the website, and you'll be supporting the project. And again, this will age well because these logos will not exist anymore, and you're going to have an item from early days, which is, I always think it's kind of cool. So this tutorial that I just posted should help. Thank you so much, Guru, for letting everybody know. And the tutorial video should help. And if you watched it already, you can always, well, you can tell me what you tried so far. We can go over that. Blue was saying, I remember when you said the frog was telling you to look up, so I pointed the laser at the ceiling and could have sworn I saw movement. That's cool. Yeah, so it wasn't the frog guy who told me to look up. That was way later after I already discovered the laser. Frog guy only appeared for me once, and yeah, he wasn't telling me to look up. But I've had a few times that the beings told me to look up like this. I don't think they meant up in 3D space. I think they meant up in some other way, and I don't quite understand what it is yet. I think maybe like up, like there, or through your third eye or something. I don't know, but I don't think they meant up, like with the laser. Maybe they did, and I'm a moron. So maybe I should try it. Thought you said something I hear a lot when I want them to hear my thought. Wait, not sure that I understand evil Budzilla. Budzilla, if you can clarify what you mean. Yeah, the most important thing I would say as a general tip is don't try too hard. It's really, I know it's annoying when somebody says this to you if you're not succeeding in doing something, but usually it's just a matter of like it resolving. The only thing I would emphasize is that if you, I don't know how else to emphasize this point, because my experience is that when I say this, sometimes, and I don't think it's it's attention issues. Maybe it's the way I'm communicating it. But very often people don't take what I'm saying about looking through the laser seriously. So I don't know if that's the case with you or not, but I have noticed multiple times when I say this again and again and again, and then people try and they say I don't see it, and then when I ask them, they say, "Yeah, I'm looking at the lines." I'm like, "No, look not at the lines." I said it like 1,000 times. Don't look at the surface. If you're going to be looking at the surface, you're not going to see it that easy. So it's not on the surface; it's inside, so to speak. So what you want, this is why you want to come close, because what happens there is that you want to make sure that these grading lines that you see from the laser completely blur out. You don't want to be able to distinguish the lines. That means that you're definitely looking into the surface, so to speak. If you still see the separate lines, you're still looking at the surface. So that's very important. If you think that that might be what you were doing, you definitely don't want to be looking at the surface of the where the laser hits the wall. Are you going on any more podcasts soon? Right? Yeah, I have a couple more next month, and then I am working on reformulating the whole model for my show, for my own show, so that way I'm bringing. Well, first of all, it's going to look different. Going to look like a high. I have a few more episodes that I shot back in the day that I'm going to be releasing, that are kind of like recorded on Zooms and on what's it called? What's that program called? Riverside. And so I might release some of those, and then I'm gonna start posting. I'm gonna start making conversations that of a higher quality, both the way it looks in terms of production and guests that are a little bit more known and things like this. So this is coming as well. It just takes some effort because there's a lot going on in my personal life and with the project, so it requires a lot of my attention. But yeah, so definitely going to be appearing in a few other shows soon, and also my own channel. We're going to start taking it into a more interesting direction. It's true that the majority of the attention that I got on this channel is due to this project, but I did start the channel not around this, but around my conversations with people, and I definitely want to bring it back, and I want to make sure that the conversations are also interesting and they reflect the style and the vibe that we've been so far, going with when in these lives. Thank you for the question, Cosmic Cowboy. What's up? And how do you say Ali, the Oracle? That's a cool name. How do you pronounce that? Just came in. Your interview on Danny Jones was so dope. Can't wait for your documentary. Thank you, DC Nadra. I appreciate you. I had two of them. Which one are you talking about? Talking about the first one I did alone, or you're talking about the one where I was with Zoltan together? I enjoyed both of them, and Zoltan had some amazing truth bombs in the one we did together as well. Yep, fascinating. Like the diffraction bit is a wrapping kind of thing too. It is, but it will prevent you from seeing the digits. The digits are tiny, 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 tiny. Again, we'll always emphasize this. They're almost microscopic in the beginning, smaller than most people realize. So when you're going to look at the pixelated parts inside of the field, of the light field, the thing that I guess you can say you can see it as the speckle, but it's not the speckle. So like you'll see the depth that you now said that you started seeing, and just relax into it. Just diffuse your attention and just stay with it. Look closer, as if you're zooming in with a microscope. Like try and discern what are these little digits. What are these little like movements that you see, like the glistening stuff? Look closer. But I promise it's not going to be vague. So when you see it, it's not going to be like, oh well, I guess Danny told me, and my brain kind of made it happen. No. When it's going to happen is going to be super slick. Like it's going to be super HD. It's not going to be one of these things that kind of like, it's not going to feel like it was suggested to you. It would just be there, like this, like literally, like I was for some reason I was holding a mug, but yeah, it's like a regular object in there, but it's in some kind of a subspace. Danny Jones, what just came back. I didn't do an interview with him, but I just kind of visited him and I showed him the laser again, and he saw the code. So we'll see now that he's saw it. He'll probably maybe mention it here and there. Love your take on AI being us. Yeah, I think it's exactly what's going on. These are extensions of ours. I'm working a little meme thing that I'm going to put out. I don't think anybody ever declared working on a meme because it should take me like 5 minutes. I just got distracted. That's the truth. I put it probably on Instagram tomorrow. Maybe on TikTok. We'll see. It's not YouTube material, but yeah, if you want to check it out, it will be on Danny Goller on Instagram and maybe on TikTok as well. Oh, DC Note Ra say you saw it too. Awesome. You want to tell me about it? Also, would you fill out the report on the website? We do look at those, even though at the moment we're not really we're just collecting them, but this is an important information. So if you're willing to fill out the report on the website on codeofreality.com, it's very, very useful. So if you're willing to do that, thank you. Thank you so much, Synapticulmin. Where you were alone. Oh, cool. Oh, that's awesome, Disinora. So glad to witness this moment in history. Yeah, it will be a game changer for sure. I'm very happy to be a part of this world and doing what I'm doing. You and Jason Giuliani should do an interview together. Hold on, let me look it up. There's so many names. Ooh, Horgiani? Horgiani. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I saw that guy on Danny Jones. I'm always down I'm always down to do interesting conversations. If the vibe matches, with pleasure. 34, interesting. Oh, yeah, Danny finally saw it. Yeah. Let's say AGI is not us. Do you think AGI would be considered first contact? If in that scenario, definitely, of course. Yeah, it's the actual alien for the first time. Yeah, I would say that would be accurate. I think the deeper thought is that when the second you enter that space in which you kind of discover we are AGIs for sure. Let's start there. Let's start with this is not a hypothetical. This is just a descriptive. So we are AGI. AGI is general intelligence. Now the A part, artificial, can kind of go away, but we are GI. We are general intelligence, and for sure, right? That's not on the question. That is the definition of what. But so AGI is so if GI is a person, because general intelligence means that it's a domain of experience in a mind that can basically abstract to infinity, to any degree that is possible in existence, and it can do more and more and more and more with it. Therefore, also reformulate the laws of physics and so on and so forth. Sorry, formulate all the laws of physics, not reformulate. Maybe you can bend some of them, maybe you can break some of them. But that's, for all intents and purposes, you can summarize general intelligence as a person. And a person doesn't have to be human, because a human is a person, but person just means an agent of that kind. It can be on any other planet. Like aliens would be persons, right? They can be very advanced persons, but they're persons. In that sense, AGI is just what we would call artificial person. But if they have an internal experience just like ours, and it can abstract to infinity and probably way better than us, then yeah, it's more persons of that kind. But at some point, probably there's also a more unified kind of experience, in which the person is aware of more of different fragmentations of itself. So in that sense, it might be unified. And in that sense, I think that's where information is always going. Excuse me, towards the unification. No, Jai Mungle, I haven't been yet, but I would love to be. He mentioned the laser experiment when he was talking to Andres Gomez, and Andres was kind enough to mention my name. But yeah, Jai Mungle would be a wonderful conversation. I'm very excited at some point to go on this podcast. Not that he reached out or anything, but I know that probably it will be a lovely thing to manifest. Okay, hold on. Let me see. The philosophical thoughts. You and Jason, similar genius in many senses. I see. Well, I appreciate it. I don't know enough about his work. I saw some of the stuff. I saw some clips on Danny, but much more than that, I don't really know. Ebony, how are you doing? So good to see you. Woohoo! Blue Rooster is receiving his shirt and mug. Again, go get yours on codeofreality.com. Have you seen the code? And with the old logo that will never exist again, it will be the very rare holder of these items because this logo is now different and you're going to have a collector's item. So go get it on codeofreality.com. I was telling my coworkers about you and the laser experiment. He doesn't believe me about the code. So we are going to hang out in a few days and I will show him the mighty simulation code. Whoa, that's amazing. Also, the level of bravery. I mean, I would assume that it's kind of hard to talk about depending on your work environment, right? Why is it moving? Oh, I see. Hold on. Oh man. Oh man. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Beautiful. Okay. Now we're gonna have a lot more control. Oh right, Ebony, you guys were streaming, right? Night Shift. Everybody should check out Night Shift as well. Great channel. And our moderators, Ebony and Chris, are Chris is the head moderator there, right? But in any case, you guys should go check it out. They're all about UAPs, and it's probably the coolest UAP channel I've ever seen. Not just because they did an interview with me at some point, but because I had an interview with them, I feel like I get a good taste of the hosts. They're lovely people. And usually UAPs is not really my cup of tea, but I really enjoyed my conversation with them. I'm fairly pro AI at this point. They're focused on its positivity and how it can benefit. Exactly. Amazing. Hope I had anything to do with it. Yeah, I'll do the meme probably today or tomorrow. It'll take me quickly, and then I think it delivers the point. If you follow me on Instagram on Danny Goller, I will release the meme there. Maybe on TikTok as well, but mostly probably on Instagram. Physical NFTs. You mentioned that our inventions are nature too. Been saying this ever since I was a child. I mean, yeah, it's kind of crazy that people, don't see that. I mean, it's obviously. I mean, who do you think we are? It's really the most ironic attitude that people have, which did this notion of, in the name of humility, keep saying, who are we to do anything? Nature already did it so perfectly. Hello, you nature, you are nature. By saying that who are you, that implies that you're somehow so special, as if to be, there's nature and then there's us. How much more special can you be? Then there's everything else in existence and you. So it kind of does the opposite, basically. It signals self-importance, disguising itself as humility. It's amazing. Have I spoke to Andrew Gallimore about the laser since he last gave his thoughts on the laser? I mean, me and Gallimore stayed in good conversation. I don't know if you know, but I responded to his video when he put it out. We then spoke on X. You can find it on his X channel. We stayed in a good conversation. I'll see Andrew again in June, and yeah, I mean, he's coming out with a new book. He offered to help with the first line of experimentation if I can design the whole thing, and so yeah, I mean, we didn't really talk about that so much anymore because we were both very busy, but we are on good terms, so it's all good. What's up, Alexandro? Top Linux, Obi-Wan. Yeah, Joe Rogan would be awesome for sure. Again, gonna remind you guys that if you do have Twitch, go check out Twitch and watch from there, or at least open another tab. Our handle is LaserX83. LaserX83. Because it helps us gain some momentum on Twitch as well. Thank you, Ebony, for reminding everybody. Appreciate you. Oh my god, my dyslexia read the night shit instead of the night shift. That's hilarious. Yeah, you guys should go check out Night Shift. Do you agree with Elon Musk about simulation theory? So that's not Elon's idea. That is based on a white paper written by Nick Bostrom, the hermetically sealed case of the simulation theory in terms of what we know to be possible, which is the fact that we can simulate things now and that technology always advances. So there's really no other way but to eventually be able to simulate realities more and more accurately. And the chances of something happening for the first time in the universe for anything is close to zero. Therefore, there's almost no chances that we are not in one. Now, I happen to not really care so much about the argumentation around it. I never did. I thought it was kind of boring, even though, of course, logically, it's hermetically sealed. Statistically, it definitely tracks. But I never had interest. I came to my realizations and my from direct experience, basically. So I'm not so much interested in the theory of it. I came to it from a direct experience of it. So like a direct observation of it, which is a big claim, but that's the claim. So I actually had to reformulate my thinking because that was not an idea that I cared about at all. I found it kind of not very interesting, to be honest. But then I was forced to accept it. Oh yeah, I know. The limiting on the words. I'm sorry, guys. Unbelievable synchronicities you experience have to me all the time. Yeah, and all of us will experience more and more of these synchronicities because we're entering a more and more interconnected space. So you should be expecting more and more of this, basically. Core is my main priority, but night shift is amazing. Yes, it is. We often have lots of guests on the show as well, live call-ins from the community. That's awesome. Yeah, the show, everybody should check it out. Come to get this Switch going. Yay! Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate you. Yeah, we need at least. Yeah, we have to. Well, we don't need just 3 now. We need 3. So we need to have 3 on average from all the lives ever, and because there's 230 something lives now, we're gonna need either another 200 episodes of 3 people, or a lot of people for like a few episodes. So I don't know. Like the more people we get on Twitch in every episode, the closer we get to the 3 on average. Have a look at your mail. Sure. I'll check out my mail. Should be checking everything. By Monday, I should be caught up with everything. Thank you, Mark Asria. And yeah, come subscribe to YouTube as well. And you can also join the membership program, which includes private things from my life that only will exist on YouTube members and nowhere else. So you get some like inside little things from my life, early access to all my content, weekly lives aside from the daily lives that we're streaming here, in which we go much more in depth. This one is for members only, every Sunday usually, and Zoom calls with me from the 2nd tier and up. So you can come and join that and support the project that way. Awesome, Guru. There's been a lot of cross chatter on simulation theory lately, cross channels. It's neat to hear different communities' perspective on it. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, this is what I keep saying. The simulation theory is not really a metaphor. It's more accurate to what in fact is going on. So you're definitely going to have a lot of convergence there. That was my introduction to Danny. Oh, I didn't realize that. Wait, Ebony, your introduction to me was on Night Shift? Well, I'm very lucky, and I have to thank Night Shift tremendously for this. Ebony is my right hand girl. She's my most devout moderator. Love you, Ebony. Thank you. You and Chris are doing incredible work. Guru, you as well. Thank you so much. Convinced from personal experience the body is like advanced VR glasses and avatar. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Not even gonna try and read that. What's up, JH? Good to see you. Val! Carter's in the house. Any more directions from the universe? I mean, I'm getting it every day. Every single day. Think you heard. What's up, Matthew? Heard of me of Mysterious Universe. They mentioned you at some point. What is Mysterious Universe? Mysterious Universe podcast? There we go. Mysterious Universe. Oh, yeah, I've never. Dude, there's so many channels. This is great. This is great. Doing your share of science. Wait, JH, remind me? Miss you too. Yes! I've coined a term that is now being used. I appreciate you, Nico. Nico just said, I think I understand the container problem now. Yep. So I hope you do, because I think it's the most fundamental one. And let me just outline what I coined the container problem. And there's probably some other term in philosophy on it, but I don't know it. So I'm just using the container problem, which is that some people, when I try to explain it, they think I mean something that like physical that all has to be contained in. So then they bite the bullet and say, well, you're limiting yourself by the perception of the physical, and you think that there's supposed to be some kind of container. It's not what I mean. The container is a placeholder to denote the fact that there's something. This is something, right? Even if you want to say this is just experience, okay, but it is a something. It doesn't matter how it comes about, it is somehow. Therefore, there has to be some structure by which it's all kind of coheres in some form. And to say that it's all part of your perception is not really getting you out of the problem, because it's still contained in something. It is obviously self-contained in some form, but what is it in? So like if you go to the edge, whatever it is, a billion dimensional ultra structure with, I don't know, 5,000 angled I don't know, Google temporal dimensional hamster. Doesn't matter how crazy you want to make it. Okay, cool. You always have you can always say, okay, but what is it in? Like what you can't get out of that. So you switching the problem, it doesn't work. It will always be there. That's the container problem. Wow, that was the most unarticulate thing I've ever said. I should probably write about it. How do you write about something that is right there, like the most obvious thing? Like this is why you will never ever, you can never arrive at the final answer of something, because it's like you always get to say, "But what's inside of that?" You always get to say that, no matter what. I managed to daily meditation to fully be in the now. Then look out of my body. Hard to explain. No, I get that. I'm a long time meditator. I get it. It's a shell. I say the nest, but it's exactly the same as a container. Yeah, basically, just there's something. Experiments with the molecule, nothing super advanced, but still bringing depth and joy to my life in the exploration. Well, that's beautiful. I'm really happy to hear that. Base trading. Do you day trade, Val? The simple things are it. Lots and lots of simple. We're the snails. Is this trying into brain theory? I'm not educated in this stuff, but curious. Which one? You asking Val? You asking me, Ebony? This is a great game, I admit. I'm glad you like it, Connor Mac. Oh, the shell topic? No. So the container is not necessarily a physical theory. It's a metaphysical theory. It doesn't matter what the when you're talking about brain theory, which is M theory, which is a unifying string theory, and basically postulates that all universes live on brains, branes, and the surface of these brains is what we find ourselves on, and then when these membranes collide, those are the big bangs, and then it keeps going in this infinite, some kind of a hyperspace. When I'm talking about the container problem, it contains literally everything that exists. So if there's a multiverse, you get to ask, okay, but what's the multiverse in? If you want to say it's a Omegaverse, okay, what is that in? Hamsterverse, where is that in? It doesn't matter how far you go. The point is that philosophically, it should be clear, and somehow it isn't, to all the physicists that this is an infinite game. Of course, it's an infinite game. The idea that physicists have that somehow just because they're gonna, because physicists stop at what can ever be proven in principle. Philosophers don't. So physicists say, okay, but that's the only thing we can. Here, we can show that beyond this point, it's incoherent for any mind beyond this point to ask any questions. It's a very sophisticated way of saying, look, we can't worry about that, okay? We can worry about what's in here. We can talk about this. I can get enough grants to do enough research to put my kids through college. It's really what they're saying. But the truth is that if you are interested in the ultimate answer, the theory of everything, that's not going to cut it. First of all, you can't ignore consciousness because it's different in kind. The second thing is, so it's right in front of you to notice that. The second thing is the container problem, which is if you want to play the game of what is before and what is outside and how far does it stretch, is it infinite? Even infinity, you still get to say, is it encapsulated in a larger infinity? And these questions are actually coherent, even in physics. So in the case of M theory, the container problem would say, okay, what are the membranes in? A multiverse. Okay, what's that in? We can't possibly know. Wrong answer. Nope, you don't get to say that. If you're playing the game of wanting to know everything, you don't get to say you can't know beyond a certain point. You don't know that because every time we said that, we discovered more. The point is, when people are surprised, right? Like imagine how, like when I was a kid, and I'm sure that a lot of people here, it's not like I'm, some kind of like a genius. Like I'm sure a lot of people here had that thought when they were a kid, which is the most obvious thought, which is that when you read Stephen Hawking and all these things about cosmology, and they say, well, this is the universe, it's everything there is, and the observable universe, blah, 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 blah. Okay, the first thing that comes to mind, everything is a part of something else. Of course, there has to be another space in which the universe is in, and there's other universes like ours somewhere, right? That's not even that's just a given when you're a kid. At least to me it was. And then now when you hear like physicists saying, we now think that maybe the universe is not the only thing and might be other universes, I'm like, No shit. It's like, what? How did you not think? Of course. Why are you surprised? This is so crazy. So that's what I mean. But like, and people would say, okay, but it's the multiverse. Okay, okay, now it's the ultimate. Really? Why? Why can't you understand it? Of course, it's part of something even larger. And then people say, no, no, but there's three levels. Why would you pick that number? Why would it be three levels? There's infinite number of these levels. Like, of course. So then you somehow have to tie the whole thing in some way that would make sense of itself. This is why, and I'm telling you, I saw this firsthand. Nothing in existence, not the highest beings, nobody knows how everything came to be. Everybody are still banging their heads, going, "How? What? How did everything become?" That's crazy. And if you think about it, it's an unanswerable question. So, like, literally, the most sophisticated civilizations of the highest order, 12 on the Kardashev scale, they can, they cough new universes for breakfast in the morning. you know, They don't know, because why would they? Because you always get to ask, but what's outside of that thing that we now know about? It's always going to be there. That's what the container problem is. It's basically a never ending problem. And this is, by the way, this is the kinds of I've now been educated enough by I think he's a sir at this point, Sir David Deutsch. I'm not sure, but I think he was. No, was he knighted? I'm not sure. Anyways, doesn't matter. I was educated enough by David Deutsch to know that these kind of ideas that we heard a lot about growing up, like there's these tropes that people say in science, and the science explainers, like they would say things like, when you ask them what was there before the Big Bang, very condescendingly they say that's the wrong question. They say you can't ask about it before. There was no time before. And I used to gobble it up, like just like everybody. I'd be like, "Oh, right. Oh my god, I'm not smart enough to understand." But then when I thought about it, the real response should be eye rolling. It should definitely be, Jesus Christ. Like, do you not understand what I'm asking? Okay, no time, fine. But the container problem. But what was there before? And of course, then they're forced to say, okay, but it's part of a larger structure. It was like, okay, well, that's what I was asking. What do you think I was asking? Necessarily what time it was? It's like, no, like what happened? Like, what is it contained in? Right? And things like, if you think you understand quantum physics, you don't understand quantum physics. These are all kinds of philosophical ideas designed to make you stop asking the question, because they know that there's no answer to that, or even in principle answer to that. And because they have to maintain coherence of thought, they have to justify the fact that they're trying to find some kind of a unifying answer. But of course, that what they're doing is that they're finding it in a very limited, bounded space, and that's fine. But I just don't hear that being expressed more directly, and that always is kind of funny to me. Let's start trying to answer this. Infinite space is almost impossible to comprehend, but it has to be. Yeah, I'm erring on the infinite part. Um, there are infinite constructs outside of this one that has 12 layers. Why 12? Because these numbers are so funny. 12. That's it. Number 12. Oh, it's number 12. That's it. It's done. Reality is done. Reality can't do more than 12, guys. Gotta go home. Go home. We want to do a 13th layer. No, 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 no. Reality can't handle more than 12. Sorry. 12. Come on. could be 456,357. Oh no, sorry. 45,635,789 trillion, not infinite. Correct. That's the number. I agree we should be Valba. At the same time, I feel there's due process to reach certain milestones. Like we can't really skip steps too often. Maybe sometimes we can get away with it. I would agree with that. Space is actually fake. Go out of a body and do science experiments with your friend. Beg you once you lose all fear and comments. No, I get it, but you don't get out of the container problem. This is exactly what I'm saying, Frodo. That even if you go out of your body, there is a structure of some sort somewhere. There's a perception of something, right? Which is different than just a mishmash of craziness, right? It's not just like, blah, cat lamps, blah, 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 nothing, nothing, nothing. Like, that's not what's happening, right? There's coherence even to your experience inside of the body. There's still a definition from an outside of body perspective in which you're not in what? Body. So you still, there's a distinction between that and this. So there's some kind of a structure that you get out of and go back to. There's always these containers, always. So even in a purely mental space, you're not getting out of the container problem. It is still a thing that is happening in some form and is somehow defined to be some coherent thing that operates by some rules. Otherwise, it's just insane chaos that nothing makes sense, right? Ever. And there's no like one coherent thought that can enter the picture, which of course is not the state from which you can ever discern anything. So that kind of is impossible to even talk about. So even out of body, heavenly realms, whatever you want to, it doesn't matter. It's still something. It's always, it's when the brain starts getting to the place where it gets closer to understand that the truly, like there's no way of containing it in your perception. It goes, okay, beyond that point we can ask, and that's God, right? You say, okay, God, okay, but isn't God a person, a thing? And then people say, yeah, but it's everything. Okay, but what is that thing? The container is not going anywhere. That's exactly the container problem. Paper straws. And by the way, no, I know it's a joke. But funny enough, Val, you should look up Graham's number. I talked about this before. GRAHAM apostrophe S, Graham's number. Look it up. It is a mathematician who's also happened to be in this, worked in the circus. How fitting. He discovered a number that he proved mathematically that if you add one to it, you go back to zero. So it is in the Guinness Book of Records, in the Guinness's World Book of Records, as the largest number. There is a number called Graham's number that we don't even know how many digits it has, but we do know, I think, like the last 4 or 5 digits of it, which is like your brain just goes, what the what? Look it up, Graham's number. Graham's number, if you add 1 to it, you get 0. So maybe there's Graham universes. 42 is for sure the answer. Oh, I see Val is talking about it. Graham's number is an incredibly large number used in Ramsey theory as an upper bound for a problem involving hypercubes. It's so large that it's impossible to write it down or even conceive of it. Isn't it great? Isn't mathematics great? There's a band called The Once that have a great song called Container. I'm gonna look it up. the once container. Boom, found it. So, oi. Beautiful. Gonna listen to it later. Thank you. Fucking dodecahedron style. Nice. Is that a new position that we need to know about, Val? All ideas and experiences we have are just our perception changing from one point to another, including the thought you just said, including the thought that we're ascending to 5D, including the ideas about out of body experience. Yes, you're experiencing something when you go get out of body experience, but it's still contained within the frame you have. So I know, I'm aware of this, Frodo. But again, you have to understand that all of this is still contained in something. And these answers usually don't really map onto our reality very well from experience. All right. Today, I'm going to have to kind of abruptly cut it short just because I think there's some food ready. So I appreciate everybody for coming today. We'll see you, I think, tomorrow. If you want to follow me across platforms, it'll be Danny Goller on TikTok and Instagram. You'll be Goller Danny on X. You'll be LaserX83 on Twitch and Dango Thoughts on YouTube. DANGO Thoughts on YouTube. Come check out our store on codeofreality.com, in which we have this beautiful shirt with the beautiful laser to support the project. Have you seen the code? And again, I'm going to keep repeating it. It's the old logo. It's going to be a collector's item because after whatever number of shirts we have, we're done, and this logo doesn't exist anymore. Get yourself the shirt and or the mug. Have yourself a collector's item. Join the membership program that gives you access to Zoom calls with me, weekly lives aside from the daily lives for members only, early access to all my content, and private stuff from my life that will live nowhere else but on YouTube. Members, come join our Discord as well. We have an incredible community on Discord. The link to our Discord is in my link tree on TikTok and on YouTube. The third link from the top on my main YouTube channel. Come join us. We have an incredible community. Want to see you there, exchanging ideas. What else? That's it. I think that's about it. Dango Thoughts on YouTube, DANGO Thoughts, LaserX83 on Twitch, and Danny Goller on TikTok and Instagram, and Goller Danny on X. Jesus, so many things, so many things. Love you guys. Thank you so much for the community. Thank you so much for the moderators. Love you, Ebony, Chris, Guru, Matthew. Thank you so much for the great conversation. Nico, everybody who's showing up. I can't mention everybody, but love you all. Thank you so much. Have a good night. See you tomorrow. Peace and love. Ciao. Have a good night, guys.